Zohran Mamdani, a name that, just a few years ago, almost no one in New York politics knew. But today, it's the name of the city's new mayor, a man who rose from complete obscurity to one of the most powerful offices in America's biggest city. Born in Uganda and raised in New York, Zohran Mamdani's story begins far away from the political elite. His parents were immigrants from East Africa with Indian roots, and his upbringing was modest. He attended Bowdoin College, later working as a housing counselor and community organizer in Queens, helping tenants fight against unfair evictions and rent hikes. Mamdani entered politics as a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. His early focus was on social and economic inequality, issues that most mainstream politicians avoided. In 2020, he was elected to the New York State Assembly, representing Astoria, Queens. His approach was different, direct, people-centered, and focused on local issues. But no one expected him to run for mayor, let alone win. When Mamdani announced his campaign, political experts dismissed him. He was young, he had little money, and he was running against powerful figures like former Governor Andrew Cuomo. But Mamdani understood something most others didn't: the power of digital communication. His campaign was built on a simple yet powerful idea: talk directly to the people. His social media strategy became the backbone of his movement. Instead of relying on traditional television ads or expensive lobbyists, Mamdani went to TikTok, X, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. His posts were short, emotional, and real. They focused on everyday problems like rent, transport, and healthcare. He spoke in a language people understood. If you can't afford your rent, if you can't afford your bus fare, we'll fight for you. That message spread quickly. Within months, millions of young New Yorkers began sharing his videos. His campaign became a movement, powered not by corporations, but by ordinary people donating small amounts of money. Mamdani's team used modern data analytics, meme culture, and viral trends to attract attention. Instead of boring political speeches, they released clips of Mamdani answering real questions from citizens. He would walk through the streets, talk about the city's housing crisis, and post videos directly addressing the audience. The results were immediate. His following grew rapidly. While his opponents spent millions on advertising, Mamdani's content was being shared freely across platforms. He didn't just gain followers, he built trust. People started to believe he was one of them. Not another politician in a suit, but a man who understood their struggles. His policy promises were bold: free public buses across New York City, higher taxes on the wealthiest property owners, investment in affordable housing, expanded childcare and education funding, a complete overhaul of how city budgets are allocated, from the top down to the bottom up. Critics called his plans unrealistic. They said he lacked experience and his socialist label would scare voters. But the opposite happened. People wanted change. The 2025 election became a showdown between the old political machine and a new, people-powered movement. On election night, the unthinkable happened. Zohran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo, a political veteran and former governor, by a clear margin. The victory was historic. At just 34 years old, Mamdani became the first Muslim mayor in New York City's history and one of the youngest mayors ever elected. The global media called it a political earthquake. Newspapers across the world carried headlines like "Socialist Shock in New York" and "Grassroots Power Beats Establishment." Analysts began to compare his win with past political revolutions, moments when an outsider changed the rules of the game. His success didn't just come from social media. It came from staying consistent. Mamdani never shifted his message to please donors or elites. He stayed connected to his community, continued meeting voters face-to-face, and made his campaign feel personal. Every volunteer, every small donor, felt like part of the mission. The Mamdani campaign showed how modern politics is changing. Traditional TV debates and newspaper ads are no longer enough. In the age of social media, attention and authenticity are more powerful than money. Mamdani proved that with creativity, conviction, and connection, even an outsider can take on the establishment and win. But his victory also brings massive responsibility. Running a campaign is one thing. Running a city like New York is another. His plans will face opposition, his budget ideas will be tested, and his promises will meet the harsh realities of government. Yet, for millions of people, his win means hope. That politics can be more human, more inclusive, and more honest. Zohran Mamdani's journey from a community organizer to the mayor of New York is not just a story about politics. It's a story about belief that real change can still come from ordinary people, that ideas matter more than wealth, and that the future of democracy may lie in the hands of those who dare to speak differently. Zohran Mamdani didn't just win an election. He proved that in the digital age, even the quietest voices can echo through the world's loudest city.